We come now to talk about God's incomprehensibility. That's a very long word. If you break it up, you have a negative prefix, and comprehension. Those words mean to know something or to fully grasp and understand it. So the fact incomprehensibility is referring to the aspect of God that is that we cannot fully comprehend or grasp who he is in his being. And so we turn to the scriptures and we are reminded of passages. Perhaps you know this passage. It's from Isaiah 40, 12 through 17. Listen to this. Who has measured the waters in the hollow of his hand and marked off the heavens with a span? Enclosed the dust of the earth in a measure and weighed the mountains in scales and the hills in a balance? Who has measured the spirit of the Lord, or what man shows him his counsel? Perhaps you've heard that. Who has known the mind of the Lord, or who has been his counselor? Who has measured the Spirit of the Lord, or what man shows him his counsel? Whom did he consult, and who made him understand? Who taught him the path of justice, and taught him knowledge, and showed him the way of understanding? Behold, the nations are like a drop from a bucket, and are counted as the dust on the scales. Behold, he takes up the coastlines like fine dust. Lebanon would not suffice for fuel, nor are its beasts enough for a burnt offering. All the nations are as nothing before him, and they are counted by him as less than nothing and emptiness. And so you see in Isaiah 40 and throughout the rest of the scriptures, you see even by looking around at this world before us, which shows forth the immeasurable wisdom, justice, and righteousness of God, that God is indeed an incomprehensible God. What are the implications of that then? Well, the implication would be that we cannot fully know who God is. But in God's grace, in his kindness, and his goodness, he has indeed revealed himself to us in the scriptures, which are a rich treasure trove of knowledge for us to come to and to gather up all of what we can know of him. Everything which he has revealed through history, through creation, and through the scriptures, he has revealed many things to us. But it is in the fact that our minds are finite. Again, this goes back to the creator-creature distinction. The fact that God is not Superman. He is not like us. We understand that our minds are finite, and God's mind, God who he is in his being, is infinite. And therefore, because the finite cannot grasp and fully understand, cannot envelop the infinite, we cannot fully know, cannot fully understand the mind of God. Who has been his counselor? Who has fully understood the mind of God? Who told God where to set the limits of the ocean shore? We hear this from the book of Job. Who told God how to set the stars in the sky and what to name them? No one. And that is because we are of a finite mind. We are of a different being, and God is an infinite, eternal creator of an infinite being. And so we remember in this incomprehensibility that we cannot fully understand who God is, though we can know him in part. And the title of our lecture actually comes from a saying by St. Augustine, which is, he says in it, if you can comprehend, then what you comprehend is not God. And so if we come to the conclusion that we have fully understood God and fully understood all the mysteries of his will and fully understood who he is, then we should scrap that conclusion. We should arrive at the fact that what we're attempting to comprehend is not truly God, because God is incomprehensible. Though he is knowable to a degree, he is incomprehensible fully. And so we bear that in mind, and that doctrine then should lead us to approach the scriptures and to approach our understanding of who God is with first humility, sincere, genuine humility in our hearts, that we cannot fully, of our own accord, know who God is, even in our glorified states. I don't believe it to be true that we will fully understand who God is, because again, we are different beings. The angels in heaven, created beings, because they are created, cannot fully comprehend who God is. Though they long, as the scriptures say, to look into the mysteries which he has set, they still cannot fully understand God, cannot fully comprehend him. Though both the angels and we, as mankind, can know God in part by his grace and by his goodness, and only by those means. And so remember the doctrine of the incomprehensibility of God, and let us approach our understanding of who he is with sincere humility.